Okay, so all right, so I've started recording. I mean, this is very casual, so don't stress out too much. I mean, I'm drinking an energy drink as well, so if anything, I'm gonna get more
All right,
stressed
all
out as
right.
we go. So your name's Wessel? Is that how you?
Yes. Hey, you're the first one that doesn't butcher it. That's not native Dutch language.
Oh man, I mean, there's a good chance I'm gonna screw it up. So, but yeah, no, it's oh man, maybe I should get video of you at some point. Not you, but in the future, other reviews. Um, so okay, so you're in the Netherlands, and it looks like you already do stuff. Would you like to introduce yourself first so we can?
Oh yeah, sure. So my name is Wes. I'll just keep say Wes, so that's a little bit easier. So I'm currently studying at the NHL Stenden, where I follow a communication and multimedia design course. Before that, I started out doing game design for 3 years, and it didn't really blew into a passion. So I tried different things, and that's how I came across ArcViz. And I use all kind of game art things to create my ArcViz inside Unreal Engine. And I found myself a job for a building company. We develop houses on the market, and I use Unreal Engine to speed up the pipeline and create renders for clients.
Dude,
Nonetheless,
nice. Yeah, so you're already kind of in the thick of it when it comes to like ArcViz. So, when it came to like some of your earlier question or your question on your review was like using game developer techniques to make ArcViz. Is that just because, like, I imagine doing ArcViz inside of something like Unreal, especially if
yeah,
you're using Unreal and Blender, it's much easier, right? It's like
yeah,
faster
it's
turnaround.
really different than the traditional things or methods that being used right now. So it's like mostly 3ds Max and V-Ray or Corona render.
Right.
So it's like a big change also in industry, and they're adapting pretty quick. So that's nice to like grow into that section that is developing really quick right now.
Yeah, you use
So
it
that's
so
pretty cool.
Blender as well as like Unreal. You're kind of in a territory where you don't have to pay too much, other
Oh,
than like
definitely, yeah.
I guess for your substance tools and any plugins you might need.
Yeah, which is great about Blender and Unreal because it's like everyone can jump in right away,
Mm.
which is great.
Here, I'll link your portfolio in the chat. If you have the chat up, they might ask you some questions, and we can just kind of get into that as well if we want. I
All
imagine
right.
this will go really fast though. So we're we're already like 10 minutes into your 30-minute review. Um, I so right off of the bat, I think your thumbnails are pretty solid. It's really hard to frame something that's like these scenes in a square frame. I wish there was a way to author these differently. Like if you could through ArtStation choose like a wider angle thumbnail.
Yeah, yeah. I wish to like put the whole scene in there. It's quite hard, but I've actually
Mm.
been following the reviews a lot, your portfolio reviews, and it really helped me shape my thumbnails much better than they used to be. I used to like stamp a huge Unreal Engine logo on every single one. It's like not doing it. So
Well,
it came a long way.
your ArcViz design is coming through like how when you look at ArcViz, you see tidy, clean apartments with like something slightly off, like a blanket kind of undone a little bit, or like the couch just a little messy, but not too much. And you see it in your thumbnails as well with like how you're using your Blender and your magazine logo for substance, and even the ArtStation Learning, um, which is actually this part. I was looking at your portfolio earlier just to make sure I knew what I was getting into, because I saw ArcViz. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I might have to look at this a little closer first. Um, this is pretty cool. You already have some education stuff in here, which is really nice. So I mean, you're already kind of in a position where I feel like, I mean, you don't even like, I don't know what I can help you with. Like the content looks really good. Are you using like a lot of scanned or like pre-rendered materials? Are you creating your own materials?
I'm going more towards buying most of the stuff now
Mm.
because reinventing the wheel over and over, that becomes kind of pointless. But I like it's just like a Zen thing, you know. You get home from work or from school and you just sit down and model some stuff. I love doing that, so I tend to create most of the stuff myself. And when it comes to materials, I use because Quixel's free now. That's amazing, so I can just use that
Yeah.
in Bridge and in Real, and also a little bit of Substance here and there. But I used to work fully with Substance, but yeah, Bridge is free, so not much to say on that part.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
an easy
Man.
decision to switch.
So I think if there was anything I could add to like expand on your portfolio, it's maybe like, and this might be the fact that you're building stuff that is fitting the current trends of what people want to see in apartments, right, or in housing.
Yeah.
Um, is trying to break away from the colors that you're using. If there was a
hmm
way to make like one or two scenes that are a bit spicier in the color, like a yellow chair or like a just something to break it up. I mean, you see
Yeah.
IKEA doing it quite a bit as well. With they'll just have a cabinet that's like painted red metal, and yeah, just something that pops. But I can see everything is kind of in like the same tone, and I think that might be because of that, right?
Yeah, I always tend to go towards the style that I personally like, and it's also kind of
Mm,
dangerous because I personally feel like I don't expand my knowledge into other like styles, like how to composite that into something great, which can be dangerous. Because if I stick to one thing, it could only lead to me becoming really good at that one thing, and that's
right.
not what I want in the end.
Are you having any clients that are approaching you that are in a like put you in a position where you're going outside of this range? Like, do they know that you can do it, or are you not? Are you getting clients that would be in this style already? Because I wonder if you can expand if that's not the case.
It's more the clients that approach me. It's more like we want to use Unreal, but we don't know how. So can you like join us and set it up with us so we can learn? Because
Right,
like I said, it was like there's a lot of traditional methods still being used, like Max, and the pipeline used for both is like super opposite of each other, and
right.
that's usually what I get messaged for, and not so much the style in particular.
So, I guess if it's like, so they're confident that you could pull off anything, and they're more interested in the fact that you're doing it through Unreal. So they've
Yeah,
kind
I
of
would
caught
think
into the
so. Yeah.
flow of like
Yeah.
the trend that's shifting. Um, when you say using developer techniques to make ArcViz, like right now you're already kind of doing it through Unreal. Or are you meaning more in like the way of like material creation, or like
Uh,
what do you mean by
yes,
that?
like more the way I model my stuff. It's like the way, I mean, it's kind of old school modeling. I don't use, I forgot how it was called, but the way you set up materials now in games, it's like a little more old school, like they used to do it. But kind of like that, picking those techniques to optimize the scene also for walkthroughs, VR, and that the kind of that area.
Right. So okay, so there's yeah, because you're doing VR and AR stuff as well already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because man, this stuff is like, I guess when it comes to techniques that could help you expand on this, I don't know if you're already working in a set where like you're able to swap the material types really easily, or I guess you're just dragging on completely different scanned materials that are already pre-built, right?
Yeah, I keep using like the whole scene is the same texture density, so I
Mm-hmm.
usually work with 1024, and I can swap out all the materials because they come like the scan ones come with the same dimensions, so it's easy to swap them out without having to rescale all of them.
Dude, that's yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to is like, um, maybe having to expand on your portfolio is to not only expand on the color palette and like just kind of going into venturing into some different territory,
hmm
surface wise and with the colors, but maybe if there was like you have in this one, it says that there's a is there a 3D like rotational view? Let me see here.
I think it was at the
Is it
bottom.
at the very bottom? That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, cool. if there was
because it
like a
stops your mouse from moving. It's kind of annoying at the
yeah,
top.
dude, this is a design thing that I think the ArtStation needs to work on because it's like if you scroll here, you get stuck down here, but if you scroll on this side, then you're scrolling here. You have to find like this
Yeah,
in between
exactly.
area. Yeah. Um, I think if you were to make some really nice, because ArtStation has videos now, right? Just some really nice slow pans, maybe even a reel, because in your about page, like this is great that you have text in here. Do you have a you do have a reel in here? I didn't look far enough
Oh,
down.
it's just one scene. Yeah.
But like if you had a reel, like build a scene with a lot more color, and then integrate that into your reel, and you'll have like you'll probably be getting more clients as well because then you're
Mm.
popping out as well compared to other people that are probably fitting the current trends, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And I wonder if there's a way to um I'm trying to think here. If you had like a so if you built your portfolio or your assets in a way where uh, they were being powered by a lookup table of colors, and then
Hmm.
you could plug in different palettes into that, and then those palettes would directly feed into like the way the assets switch their colors. You could be doing like color overlays that could uh, quickly allow you to swap the theme in the color palette of the scene without having to do anything other than like toggling between palettes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like templates or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. And if you could go into that template and then just be like, oh, I have this like new there's like a new up and coming trend of this color palette to be able to just
Hmm.
go in and just swap those all out.
Yeah, it's not even a bad idea, man. That I like that.
Because then
Yeah.
you could be like, oh yeah, this is that room, and like if you want it in the new hotness, right? You just flip a switch and all the materials swap
Yeah.
because they'll already be loaded, right? So
Yeah,
it's
like that's like
yeah,
one of the key things using Unreal is like the efficiency, because everything, especially when you have clients, is time based. Everything needs to go faster and cheaper.
yeah.
So be able to do that, that's pretty amazing.
It's quite a natural progression, I think, towards Unreal for ArcViz, and
Yeah, definitely.
especially now with like how everything is going with scanned materials and whatnot. Um, is there anything in here that you feel like is lacking or like that you want to work on?
I think everything is lacking. There, like for me personally, I always like this is something I do wrong, and I don't seem to improve. Is that I burn myself out too quick, and I start to forget about the tiny details, and I skip them.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and I could definitely, if I would take more time and not burn myself out by taking a week and work 24/7 on one scene, and like instead of that, doing 2 weeks and putting more time into the tiny details that can really boost every single environment or every single ArcViz render.
So your most recent one's 2 months ago. How long did it take you to make this scene?
I think about a week.
A week?
Yeah.
I guess
It's like
it's
hard to tell because it's like
yeah,
one day off, then school, then work, and then.
yeah.
But like for the table, for example, the wood grain doesn't make that much sense. I think I changed it a little bit because I got some feedback. Um, but things like that, I've just put some more time in that, some more effort without burning myself out. It would be also fun to tackle those, but it's just not fun anymore. And don't want to like overdo it and really not
Yeah.
enjoy what I'm doing. So then I kind of stop, but then the quality goes down, or at least it could go higher than it originally is.
Right. I guess if you allot a certain amount of time to like if you put internal deadlines, right, where you have um you're like, all right, I'm going to do a pass on I don't know how you're building these spaces, so I assume like you block out the space.
Yes,
Um
correct.
and then you put in like the main elements of like the assets that you want to place and you start getting a feel for it quite early.
Hmm.
Um the finer details, I think if you left yourself like a full workday for fine details, or I don't know how long it would take you, but so that way you're not worried about those fine details until later in the production, right? So like say that last day or last 2 days, that's when it's like, okay, everything else is good to go. And it's just working on those smaller details. Like, for example, I paused in this video at this edge here. And then this is one of those things that you might not catch until later, where this edge should be beveled just to not
Yeah.
be so sharp. Um, and I think if you can build internal deadlines inside of the master project, you're going to be in a good spot. Because
All right.
then if you can control that, then you're worrying about those small details right at the very end, and that's at like 5 to 10% that usually pushes a project over the top when it comes to like visual fidelity. I think,
Yeah, I think
anyways.
that could be great. Yeah. It's definitely some great feedback, and definitely also will help like pushing like limits on, for like example, in the work field,
Mm,
because then you already have tight deadlines and train yourself to put more detail in that amount of time you have. I think that could be great.
yeah. Is that water outside?
Yeah, it's resembling an ocean.
Are you able to I guess it would be maybe like Bink videos or something. Are you able to get like high res like water on a video that you can just put out there?
I
Because
haven't
then you
tried
could
that
get it like
actually.
moving, and
Yeah.
even if it loops in like a soft blend way where it's very clear that, oh, okay, it's not a pop, but it's looping, and you see it transition to the beginning of the video again. Even then, this would be so much more impactful because you're not really getting a lot of motion in here.
Mm-hmm.
And you have music in it, yeah.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I
Watch
wonder
out
if
with that.
there's
It's
like,
copyright.
yeah, I just lowered it. I just checked it real quick. um, so so if you were able to like add add the sound of you walking around and like get some type of ambient noise that kind of makes it feel like you're in the space,
Oh yeah, that's great. I haven't thought of that.
and
That's
then
awesome.
maybe
Yeah.
like so you've got the music right there, right? If you can
Mm-hmm.
find some music that's okay to work into your scene, you could just have a radio and like have people be able to pick the time of day. Maybe it's nighttime, and then they can use the light switches and see what the rooms look like with the lights turned on and off. This is those
Mm-hmm.
extra details that sound like they could like burrow a hole into the freaking time that's going to take to build it. But I think if you set up your lights as blueprints, right, you only have to build those once or twice, and then you
Yeah,
should be able
exactly.
to just kind of go off of that. But yeah, dude, like a little radio that you can interact with to like switch the stations. That would be so cool.
Also, like the ambient, like the further away you are, the more
Yeah.
damp it's gonna sound. It's gonna be sick.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
then you could tell the music's maybe in the other room and you're kind of getting a little
Mm-hmm.
further away from it. It'll give you a
Because
sense of the scale of the space.
yeah, that's a little dimension, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think the chat's excited about the idea of Metal FM in your. Oh man. Well, we got like what, like 3 minutes? Is there anything that popped into your brain you want to ask, or like any feedback that you feel like?
Oh man, um, put me on the spot.
Ah, no, there's no spots. It's fine. If you don't have anything, then yeah, we can DJ Nusty the radio. That's chat suggested that as well. I won't oppose. Um, but yeah, no, this stuff looks really good, man. The materials are crazy nice. Are you doing the mirror material? Is that like real time because you can afford it, or is that?
Oh yeah, definitely real time, because it saves so much effort. Just playing a projection for that one.
Hmm. I wonder, is it jarring for the viewer to see themselves?
Jarring. I don't, like.
Like,
Can
does
you?
it feel weird if someone goes up to like the TV, for example, and can kind of see a silhouette of themselves standing there?
Oh, I've actually had a lot of comments that when they don't see each other, they find it weird.
Really?
So
Okay.
looking at it, yeah, they can't find the character. Like for the big mirror, for example, they struggle,
Yeah.
like feeling weird that there's no one.
Yeah, I think, I mean, it doesn't have to look like them, right? Or close to them. But if you could figure out a way to get a character,
Mm-hmm.
that would be that'd be that next layer of high level. But if you're already talking about being careful about burning out, careful with like how much you layer
Oh
on, right?
yeah.
But I think those are the things that you could do that we do in game dev, that because you have the ability of real time to be able to switch between stuff like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Um, like with the lighting and the radio control and being able to see yourself in a mirror or see a character in the mirror. You probably don't want to do a mannequin. That might freak someone out. I don't I don't know
They'll
if that's a
jump.
good idea or not. But yeah, no, this is cool, man. I think with all of those suggestions, and then as well as like probably even more so, the easier stuff to do is like the going outside of your comfort zone with the color palettes, and that will probably push you over the top and kind of bring you to the next stage of quality for yourself, and then you'll probably feel the reaction and difference in clients as well.
Yeah, some great feedback. I really want to try with some next projects. I think that would be great.
Well, cool, dude. Oh, there's a little bit of color in this one. This does a lot, man, with the green these framed green pictures. I don't even know what the texture is on that, but it looks cool.
Yeah, this was actually all white, and I got some feedback from a colleague that you want like a color to pop out, and I just started adding some simple green tints, and it really like became something else really quick.
Yeah, this is actually, I might argue that this is the strongest one that I've clicked on, just because having that color hit is a big deal. Like one color that sticks out just helps the scene. Oh yeah, you're even doing it with the candles and stuff. Man, these materials are nice. Cool, man. All right, well, I think this is our time. This is so cool to do a portfolio review this way. It almost feels more like a really fast podcast. Should be cool to continue doing these going forward. But yeah, all right, man. Well, thanks for trying to be the first caller, if you will, in this test.
The experiment.
Yeah, you're the experiment. But yeah, this is cool, dude. All right, I'm gonna switch over, and then we'll
All
get on
right.
to the next
Thanks for your
portfolio.
time, man.
Yeah,
Really
dude.
appreciate it.
Cheers, dude. Let's see here. How do I do this? See you later.
See ya, man.
All right, dude. That was super cool. The next one is not mic driven, but you can see how powerful is that, right?